Well, hello and welcome to another exciting interview with one of Butterfly Living's featured authors. And today we have Dr. Mel Tavares. I'm very excited about this topic. It's all about families. She has studied families and how to make our families better and great. So today we're going to tackle 5 ways to build a strong family and stay connected. Welcome, Mel.
Thank you so much for having me. This is a good topic to talk about any day of the week.
It really is. It's so important. So let's jump into the questions. What did you discover from your experience, your childhood, research you've done about families and the decrease in connection?
Well, the most challenging part of that research was to realize how disconnected we have all become. We live in a digital world. We're on Zoom right now. We can connect, but that has disconnected us from face-to-face contact with people. And in a home, it's the same thing. Everybody's got their digital devices. We think about, people texting each other instead of just going and knocking on the kid's bedroom door, like text, hey, dinner's ready. I'm like, but that doesn't even happen because people don't necessarily connect that way. This, even when they sit in the living room, I know a lot of families now, I don't have any kids in the house, but even when the grandkids come over to try to um, get them to put the devices down and let's just watch a movie together. So that connection, we are more connected than ever and lonelier than ever. And that is taking a toll on both adult and children's mental health because we're
Yes,
very lonely people, even though we're connected all over the place.
I know. It's so ironic, right? I remember I used to watch the Jetsons and they would have the people, they were looking at each other on the TV. And I thought, that would be so cool. You could connect all the time with everyone. And ironically, it's caused us to not connect. It's just crazy.
It is.
So you discuss in the article and all of this information, it's very good. She's going to talk about her book as well, but it's in butterflyliving.org. You can read the whole article and you highlight what families do differently. Whether today or you talked a lot about in the past, what do families that are connected do differently?
Well, we touched on a little bit of it just now in saying, what they don't do is they don't spend all their time with their face in their devices or staring at screens. They're eating dinner together. Not, I just talked to a family who was like, we can't. There's after school activities and things, but they have purpose now that they're going to have a snack time before anybody goes off and does their homework and showers and things. So everybody comes home, they're together at the table. So connecting at a table, doing, whether it's a family game night or going to a movie together or going for a walk in the park, taking bike rides together, all of that sort of thing, praying together about each other's needs and going to church together. All of those types of things are things that we've, seen a decline.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's a decline. So those connected families are the ones that are very purposeful and intentional. Like we're going to have face-to-face contact, device-free time, and we're going to just be a family, doing projects together in the house, all those sorts of things. Chores.
Yes. Keyword, you kept saying together. I think, when my kids were young, I have 4 children. My husband worked very late. He was building a business. And I thought one day, instead of being aggravated that we can't eat together, me and my kids, we found a way to eat together and play a game. We would play a little game out of a box every night. And that's some of my kids' fondest memories. We laugh about ABC City. Remember when we used to play? It doesn't even matter. We would eat together, we would laugh together, and then my husband could come when he got in late and join in a game or dessert. So you're right, you've got to work around your own schedule, but the together is the key word.
Together is the key, and it's too easy, especially with, you know, all the activities and things that are happening. It's too easy to have people scattered, one's in a ballet class and one's on a soccer field and one's somewhere else. And then you all come home and everybody goes to their bedrooms and they're not hanging out together. And it's not just about parents with kids, but I think it's important that siblings are hanging out
Yes.
together too. They need to be together because otherwise they have no relationship that steadies them into their future.
So, so true, Mel. So you give us 5 tips to help build a strong family. Can you highlight what those are?
Sure. One of them we just talked about, connect at the table. However you do it, connect around a table, intentionally play together, intentionally pray together, go to church together, and be the example. We as parents and grandparents have to be the example for those youngers that says we're going to put the device away and we're going to intentionally connect together.
I know, so important.
Make cookies together, do something in the kitchen.
Yes, I had a rule we're going out to end, even my kids are adults now, and we go to dinner. I say, phones down unless you're going to buy my dinner. Those phones go down so quickly. So you have this great quote, Mal. You say, when presence is replaced with distraction, relationships don't deepen, they drift. So, deepening relationships, this is what we keep repeating, being together. What's one thing that can really deepen a relationship within your family, with your spouse, with siblings?
I think the memory making, and you just talked about how your kids will think back to that time around the table and playing the games, making intentionally making memories that are going to, it stabilizes kids. It
Yes.
creates family legacy, but it's a stabilizer for kids in a very chaotic world they're living in. It's a big stabilizer to have traditions and memories that anchor them in their home, no matter what else is going on.
Yes, that's so good. I told a young mom recently, I said, protect the integrity of your family. And sometimes that means saying no. We're not going to move on to the next level that's going to pull us away every weekend. It sometimes you have to protect that time, and it means you choose to do things differently than you feeling the pull.
That's
So you have
very
a great book out. Tell us about the book. Tell us where we can connect. You're a very, very busy lady. So tell us about the book first of all, and then tell us maybe some of the other projects you're working on.
okay. Well, I brought it with me. It's right here. Make Families Great Again. It is basically sounding the trumpet. It's for parents, grandparents, youth leaders, anybody that's, working with kids to say, here's what's going on. I'm sounding the trumpet. This is what's happening in the schools. This is what's happening on the internet. This is what's happening in the community. This is what's happening in their minds. This is what's happening in homes or not happening in those settings. And it's filled with resources at the end of every chapter, all the links to focus on the family, all the places, newsletters people can get that synthesize the information they need. All of that's available on my website or Amazon.
Awesome. And your website's drmeltavares.com, right?
Correct.
Yes. And that will be linked in the notes as well as the link to your wonderful article. So thank you so much for being here. This will be linked in her article. Head over to butterflyliving.org to read all of the information and also purchase her book on Amazon. Thank you for being here. Thank you and have a blessed day.